All right, welcome back. Let's before we go to the domestic scene, let's also talk about another team that has received this time not royal blessings but presidential blessings. Let's talk about Portugal now. And of course, when you talk about Portugal, everything is overshadowed. We talked about Cristiano Ronaldo, but of course, the team is ready, and some say they are under some sort of pressure. They are European champions. They have arguably the best player in the world. And those two things can put anybody under some sort of pressure. So we'll talk about Portugal tonight. Tolu, what do you expect from the Portuguese team?
They're in a very difficult group, but they're in a group where they should qualify from. They have Spain, they have Iran, and they have Morocco in that group, which puts the African brothers in a very precarious situation because qualifying out of the same group that has Portugal and Spain is difficult. But for Portugal, of course, they are not going to this tournament thinking they're going to win the World Cup. It's going to be a very tall order. They have an array of talent this time around. Bernardo Silva, Adrian Silva, Andre Silva, the striker at AC Milan, who did so well, went to AC Milan and then didn't do well anymore. Joao Moutinho, lots of names who can come in and do stuff for them. But one big miss they've had, of course, is Renato Sanchez, who 2 years ago looked like the best new thing, the best kid on the block. And all of a sudden, moved to Bayern,
Swansea.
Things haven't just worked out for him. But beyond him, I think they have what it takes to go as far as possible. I don't know how far they can go, but with the Cristiano Ronaldo influence, of course, anything is possible. This guy is a serial winner. He keeps winning both at club level, and then that spirit is now with the national team. They pride themselves as European champions, but then they are going to have to contend against Spain, contend against Germany, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, possibly, if they're going to ever stand a chance of winning the World Cup, which is going to be a very, very difficult thing for them.
I do believe they have a point to prove, because a lot of people remember Euro 2016 and say on many occasions they were lucky at the group stage.
Yeah, they were.
Many draws, some penalties, and even in the final, if France had taken their chances, I mean, they were just there for the taking, but the French somehow conspired to just mess it all up. So you look at this Portuguese team and you say, even though they have the tag of the European champions, they're yet to convince a lot of people.
True.
And the best you can say is probably Cristiano Ronaldo's shoulder might just be broad enough to carry them. That's just about it. But the fact that they're European champions, a lot of people still don't give them the credit for that.
They don't get the credit because I think there was a lot of luck in there. They didn't win a single game in the group stages.
Yeah.
They drew all three and then qualified as one of the best third-place teams. And then went on to the final to win against a huge favorite who had the home support and everything going for them. And the goal came from the most unlikely source, Eder, who got a goal unexpectedly. So no one really gives them the credit. Maybe because the whole world feels they don't deserve the credit. But then, championships and major tournaments like this do not always come to you because you've earned it. Some other times, a lot of things go in your favor and you just win it. For instance, you may get a bye in your group, or some key refereeing decisions could just go your way, or your opponents just don't turn up and stuff like that. But I think it doesn't happen often in the World Cup. Usually, the winners of the World Cup have been deserving teams. Usually, from Germany to Spain in 2010. In fact, most of the people who win it are the nations we expect. Italy in 2006, also Brazil in 2002.
I'm finding it hard.
Okay, maybe the only time they win, a deserving winner didn't win it, should be 1990 against Argentina, and in 1982, where that famous Brazilian side should have won, and the Italians got them out. So, but a lot of times, even Italians who won because they deserved it. They were not lucky. They beat the Brazilians on open play, 3 goals to 2.
Even though they had a bad start, though.
Great. So, these things happen and you just feel, okay, some things are not going for them and maybe they don't deserve it. But for the Portuguese, well, respect goes to them. They won Euros 2 years ago.
Okay.
But to think that they will win a World Cup would be way too much to ask. But like I said, anything can happen.
Let's play a little thought for our African brothers, this Morocco, and Avran has been saying, look, this is unfair, it's not good, it's a tough group. What is done though, but he's saying, even from his body language, it's going to be a miracle if Morocco get out of that.
And that's why I think it was a big blow for them that they couldn't get the Spaniard youngster El Hadi Munir to come represent Morocco. But I thought it was a it was needless because the boy played 13 minutes of competitive football in the game for Spain already.
It was a case they were always going to lose.
So why waste time and resources trying to get the boy in? But then the Moroccans have stabilized for a while now. I cannot remember them losing any game particularly. Renard has equally built a reputation for himself for winning against all odds. But this is Portugal and this is Spain. Two teams who are accustomed to win and have about the best players in the world in there. If they get out of that group alone, it's a miracle. So I really don't expect them to get out of that group. And they have Iran, who under Carlos Queiroz for a while now have been stable. They do not, of course they know that they are not going to make it out of the group, but they are not going down there to lie for anyone to beat them black and blue. Okay. They are going to defend their pride. And a Carlos Queiroz side who could shut out Argentina for 89 minutes 4 years ago can definitely shut out any team for longer than that at this World Cup. So I expect it to be very difficult. However, maybe if third place is a good thing if third place is a thing to be proud of, then I think Morocco may come back home with a third place finish.
If there's any consolation in it.
If there's any consolation in it whatsoever.
Okay. All right. So I guess we just at this point leave the World Cup and let's wish our African brothers all the best, even though the coach has already admitted that look, it's a tough task, and we'll see what happens when the World Cup starts. All right, let's talk about what happened yesterday. Nigerian Professional Football League, Eyimba did the job on Lobi, but of course, Lobi's still on top, and some say sitting pretty. 5 points clear.
It doesn't get better than that. I mean, I ask myself, how do they get this huge advantage? And the answer is simple. They've won the games they needed to win when the rivals threw away points.
And they travel well.
And it's been crucial for them. They're one of the best teams on the road. It's difficult because we know that there are only 2 slots for the continental places this year. One is guaranteed if you win the league, and the other is guaranteed if you win the Federation Cup, which makes things very dicey. I would have loved to have Plateau United go back to the continent, particularly the CAF Champions League. I would love it. But as it stands, Lobi look like they deserve it by every possible.
All right, a confirmation of the result for yesterday. Eyimba beating Lobi Stars, and you were saying that.
And they've done well during the breaks, also recruiting some experienced legs and getting them into their team as quickly as possible. Look, they're taking their chances. Every team slept off in the first half of the season, and they pounced on it. A 5-point gap is a healthy gap. They can afford to lose a game and draw a game, but they wouldn't ever want to do that. They will want to stick to it and win all of their games. You know, for what it's worth, they are deserving league leaders. Let's see how much longer they can put, hold on to this. They've been top of the league for 11 consecutive match days now. That is something magnificent they've pulled off. Let's see how much longer they can keep this going, and let us see if they can stretch it to the final day of the season and win the league. That would be magnificent. The people of Benue State will love that. I mean, to have, for everything that has happened in Benue, a league win is a consolation. They will love that. It will make for a very nice story. And they, of course, would have ended at the end of the day.
All right, so that's it. Talking about the league, some say there are a few contenders this season. Some have even said it's Lobi's title to lose.
As it stands.
As it stands. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Let's see if we can go a step down and talk about the Nigerian National League. But let me quickly ask you, how impressed have you been? Some of the traditional teams that we want to see back up seem to be clicking, getting into gear. The same, the insurance, 3SC, I think Grey Monsters as well.
Yeah, Bayelsa United. Well, maybe one team that Lagos really want back is Stationary Stores.
But the results...
Right now, the results have not been going well for them. They are closer to the drop by the day, and they need to get more wins. The league being abridged now, dividing it into 4 different groups makes qualification a lot more difficult, because it means that you need to win your group outrightly. You need to dominate, and then see what happens next. But as it stands, I think just 3SC and Crown are doing what they need to do. It looks like those two may get back in earlier than, of course, expected. Kwara United also, So as it stands, really, the traditional teams, Benue Insurance, don't look like they will be back anytime soon. Bayelsa United are not particularly convincing.
Okay.
Since they dropped down to the NNL, we haven't really seen signs of this hunger to be back to the MPFL, and maybe it's not too good for them. But then you can only give what you have, and what they are currently giving apparently is what they have. So let us wait to see. But I think for Crown FC, who have been knocking on the door for a while now, I would love to see them back this season. They look like they want it. They want it badly. But if they want it bad enough, I think they will get it this year. They're currently top of their group, and it looks like they will just get back. 3SC, of course, they come back every season. They go down.
They know how to do it. Staying up is a problem. Okay, all right. So let's leave that little matter of the Nigerian National League and travel abroad. Let's talk about this man, Usain Bolt. A lot of people know him for athletics, but now he's back in the news for his efforts in trying to make a career in football. Some say it's too late. Some say he might not be able to do it. But he's been training with a Norwegian team. He's going to be part of a charity football match. I don't put it past him to be able, maybe not at Man United, Chelsea.
Never.
But
never.
But I think this young man.
I like the fact that Borussia Dortmund took a chance with him, and maybe if they had brought him on board for some reason, they would have expanded their global reach. You know, have
some say that's the main reason why a lot of clubs want him.
Yeah, that would be the only reason why any club would want him anyway. And some time ago, he was linked with a South African team, and a South African journalist was pretty offended that a South African team, he thought it was an embarrassment that the PSL team is being linked to Usain Bolt. He's 31, for God's sake. What does he really want to offer? This is a sport we know that once you get to the other side of 30, you are losing your legs already. You can't even compete at the top level. He wants to play as a striker at the top level in his 30s already. I mean, I think it's just stunts.
Okay.
I don't think he stands a chance.
We'll see whether it's mission impossible or mission possible. It has to be one of the two. Okay.
It looks like more like impossible to me. Or mission stunts.
Okay. Let's leave Usain Bolt and wish him all the best. But now let's come home again and talk about the beautiful stories coming out of the channel's international Kids Cups, the stories that are heartwarming, the stories that make you smile, the reward for success, the reward for hard work and diligence. These young boys that you have on screen being received, hosted by the Osun State government, are the students, the pupils from Baptist Elementary School, Ada Owode. They participated in the channel's Kids Cup, finished in second place. Lost the final, but get a very good account of themselves, and they were hosted. Some appreciation for the efforts put in by the young boys and the states, the Osun State government saying that they would invest in sports. So let's take some reactions from that, and we'll be back for more of Sports Tonight.
Kudos to Channel for reviving the spirit of catching them young, because for channels, this case this talent will probably rot away, and that means in the next few years now, the talent being discovered here, if nurtured, and I believe they will be nurtured, Channel will not even leave them alone.
We faced many challenges. We played with many teams, but God gave us victory, and we came out with second position. There are some times that people are supposed to lose. Not all times are bed of roses. It's not all times that people will just win, but there are some times that people will lose. So God has already said that we will lose that final match, and we will lose it. But I am still happy because we even come out with victory. We carried second out of 16 states.
All right, a young lad, philosophical. That's the best attitude to life. You win some, you lose some. Tolu, unfortunately, this is where we have to stop.
I'm awed. Like, I can't believe that young boy just went on and on and on about the philosophy of winning and losing. And I think this is one of the reasons why this competition is there. It's not just about the football, it's about building you as a person, as an individual, and it's paying off. Congratulations again, Channels. Thank you very much, Yemi, for having me.
All right. So that's Tolu for you giving his thoughts. I want to thank you as well for allowing us to be a part of your day. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.